All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Athlete Artist Show. I am the artist Kyle Forch alongside the athlete, professional hockey player Zach Boychuk. No guest on the pod this week, but a lot of things to cover. Chucky, right off the bat, added a new ring to the collection last night. Had a nice formal dinner. Tell us about the ceremony and show off the brand new ring.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to get that third ring in 4 years, and um, it's one tradition that our owner likes to do. It's not that normal in European sports and hockey especially, but they bring over the tradition from the American sports where you get a ring if you win a championship, and so now this is my third one, and seems like the rings just keep getting bigger and bigger and better. And um I guess I'll just show you guys the two from the first 2 years. um
Nice.
this was the first one. It's a little bit smaller. Second one's getting bigger, and then the unboxing of the third one. So we got this pretty sweet. The box like lights up, and I'll take it out. Here we go.
Nice.
We got Berlin on there, the bear. Deutsche Meister, got Boychuk 89 on the side. Eisbären Berlin, Berlin's team 2024. And then kind of a cool tradition over here. They put, every time you win a championship, they put stars. So there's 5 red stars on there, and then 5 at the bottom to make 10, because now Berlin's won 10 championships in their the last 20 years. And then on the bottom there's a nice like 10 star on the bottom. So, and then keep chopping wood, that was our slogan. So now it kind of completes the one side of the hand. And I still got, I don't know how many years I have left playing, but get a couple of the World Junior rings. Those are at home in the safe with my parents. But yeah, keep trying to collect more, I guess.
That's unreal, man. That's so sick that the because it's the same owner we've talked about it a little bit before, but AEG owns Berlin, the same owners as the Kings and formerly the Lakers. So that's cool that they bring that tradition over there. Because you mentioned in the past too, like a lot of the Euros, it's like a watch or something instead of a ring.
Yeah, in Switzerland and Bern, they gave us a really nice watch that had like the bear logo on it and had like 2019, and which is probably something that you'd wear a little bit more often. It's not as
Sure.
flashy, but when you get to bring these things out, it's definitely a fancy occasion. And the party that Mr. Anschutz threw for us, it was like a red carpet event. 25 years now they've been in Germany. They built an arena in Hamburg called the Barclays Center now, and there's a lot of events and concerts. And they don't have a hockey team there anymore, but they used to. And then they moved on to Berlin and built now the Uber Stadium with Uber Platz and a bunch of different entertainment stuff around it. So they've been 25 years, and they want to do a big celebration, and um, basically give us our rings for our 10th championship at the same time. So it was funny. They like had a big stage, like entertainment throughout the night, and then at the end of the night there was, felt like fireworks were going off, like big smoke, air, and they brought all the rings down, suspended like on wires in like a glass enclosed, and handed out our rings after. So it was pretty sweet. Luke Robitaille was there last night, Hall of Famer.
Oh,
He had a good
sick.
speech. Yeah. Mr. Anschu's daughter was there, talked to us, about how incredible, working in Germany and bringing some championships to the Los Angeles Kings, and now Eisbären Berlin. So pretty sweet.
That's awesome. Gotta love like the those types of theatrics and like production and stuff like that. The suspending the rings from the rafters, bringing them down. That's some WWE
Yeah,
type stuff when they bring the belts down from from the ceiling type of thing. That's
yeah.
why was Robitaille there? Did he play for Berlin at one point or?
So he still works. He's like one of the presidents for the LA Kings. So he comes over once or twice a year and comes to some big events for us. And so basically, they felt like this was a big enough one where him and some other employees from the Kings and AEG came to the event and got to have a nice dinner with us and mix and mingle and kind of hang out a little bit.
Starting to look like Tom Brady over there with the rings.
Yeah, how many does he have? He's got like seven or something, maybe eight. I think
Something like that.
I'm at five rings and one watch, so I still got a little bit to catch up to him.
Will you get one if you guys win Champions League? Do you think they'll get another ring for you?
It'd be cool if they would. I'm sure Mr. Anschutz, that'd be one of the biggest trophies Berlin has ever won. They've won the European trophy, it's called, which is kind of before Champions League was a thing. But it was not as big as Champions League is now, and they did like a kind of a similar round robin that they do here, but then all the top teams and from the seeds just go play like a weekend tournament, and
Okay.
Ended up winning that tournament. So if we can actually win the real like Champions League that's been around for 10 years now, I think rings or even a Rolex. I think one year Mr. Anschutz got the Eisbären team. It was their third year in a row that they won. So instead of getting rings that year, they got Rolexes, which is pretty awesome.
That's sick. Were they like were they like specially customized in any way, do you know, or would they just like what did he do for them?
I don't think so. I'm not even sure you can get like a really that customized Rolex. It's just getting a Rolex is getting a Rolex. You know it's going to be quality and
Yeah.
worth a lot of money, and something that you can say that you got from winning a hockey season would be pretty cool.
Man, that'd be quite the gift. I'm sure the rings are pretty close in price, but I think like you said, like the watch you could definitely wear a little bit more often than a giant diamond ring.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too flashy, especially when you got a bunch of them on your hand like this. Maybe one or two would be okay to wear to the odd dinner, but
Yeah.
when you got something that big on your hand, it's got to be a fancy event.
Yeah, you're not wearing five rings to the clubs, that's for sure. Unless you're a
Definitely
rapper,
not.
but you're starting to get on that level where you could be rolling around like a rapper with all these diamonds on your hand.
I know, right? Almost
Uh,
look like a fighter.
yeah, look like diamond knuckles. We've had
I
diamond
know, right?
hands on the podcast. We're gonna have to start calling you diamond knucks with all the championships.
Yeah, seriously, diamond nuts, diamond hands.
Man, that's awesome. Congratulations. That sounds sick. Hopefully, another back to back this year. Maybe Champions League as well. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that's the goal. So far we're 2-0. Had a really good start to the season. So 3 more big games this week, and then we got Oktoberfest coming next week. So that'll be fun to get out
Nice.
to, some team bonding, and um, quite a long road trip for us. I think we're on the road for almost a week. So uh, definitely some big games coming out.
That's awesome, man. Traveling, playing during Oktoberfest will be fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I couldn't imagine being in Munich. Like it's 3 weeks long. They play in Munich, so like typically they could go like almost every day, and there's not that many games right now for them. So it'd be tough to stay away. I know for me, it's nice to have Stampede during the
Oh yeah.
summer where you don't have to worry about playing games. But I couldn't imagine having 3 weeks of basically the Calgary Stampede right in your backyard during the middle of a hockey season.
Unreal. So Oktoberfest is mainly in Munich then?
Yeah, it's all in Munich. There's
Okay.
like a whole bunch of tents in this one area, and millions and millions of people come during those 3 weeks, and it's just like it's almost impossible to get a table. The tables are huge, and they're all
Wow.
pretty much booked in advance. And you kind of, if you have a small group, you might get lucky, like going during the week, sneaking into a couple of the tents and finding some places to sit with the big beers that are like this big and listen to the music and wear the funny outfits and the lederhosen or whatever. And but it's a pretty fun. As with Berlin, I this will be my third time going. Usually just day trips, kind of in and out, and it's definitely a lot of fun.
So do you guys play Munich while you're there then, or are you guys just going for a team bonding trip?
Yeah, so we're in that area basically from Sunday till next Friday. Next Friday we play Munich, um,
Yeah.
in Munich. So we're kind of in and around the area for the whole week. We play Straubing, which is only an hour or 2 hours from Munich. So we're kind of in that area, which works out good for us. You know, we can play the games and take those seriously, and then for the off days, we can kill some time with going down and checking out the festivities.
Will that Munich game get pretty rowdy during Oktoberfest? Like, do those crowds get pretty wild, or are there a lot of tourists that are visiting Oktoberfest? Do they come to the games, or what have you noticed about that?
Yeah, I don't know if we've actually played Munich this close to Oktoberfest time, but I'm sure the games are a lot busier. And now they have the new rink that seats close to 10,000 people. So I'm sure there'll be more tickets available, especially for the tourists that are coming into town. But I know Munich's actually playing the Buffalo Sabres, I think, tomorrow night,
I saw that.
just as like a preseason kind of test tournament. And some former Munich Red Bull players that are playing on Buffalo Sabres, and there's
Sick.
obviously a bunch of ex NHLers on the Munich Red Bull team. So that'll be a kind of cool for their like kind of grand like rink opening for their new arena in Munich. And I'm looking forward to see how they do against the Sabres, and then we'll have to take them pretty seriously next Friday because they've always got a really good squad, and right now I think we're tied with them for first place.
Yeah, I'm sure the Buffalo game will be rocking, and then as soon like during Oktoberfest, I'm sure that game will be just rocking, especially with like the new rink. That'll be quite the
Yeah,
atmosphere. I think that'll be sweet.
yeah, you got to think the Buffalo Sabres brass planned that perfectly. Where oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we got to go to Munich at this time. It just happens to be during Oktoberfest and the new rink being built and all of that. So kind of nice for the Sabres. I'm sure they'll have a fun few days. Maybe catch a soccer game and play a meaningful preseason game, and then start their Euro series. I'm not sure who they're playing over here once the regular season starts, but I think it's a good way for teams to start the season that way.
that'll be unreal, man. Those boys are just gonna be piled the entire time they're there during
Yeah, they
Oktoberfest.
might be having a couple beers already this week at Oktoberfest, so that we'll see how the game goes for them tomorrow night. But yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, they're playing Munich on the 27th, and they're playing New Jersey in Prague on October 4th and
Okay,
5th.
so that's probably the opener of
Yeah,
the
the
Euro
season.
series. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of I think some Czech guys on New Jersey too. So
Yeah.
it's smart how they do that. Where you know in Munich, there's a couple like Munich Germany guys on Buffalo, and same thing in New Jersey. Probably some Czech guys, and should be some good games.
Yeah, and speaking of the NHL, I mean, one of the biggest stories right now, Swayman still hasn't gotten a deal done with Boston. Apparently, I've read that he's wanting 8 years, and Boston wants a long term as well. But the thing they can't agree on is the average annual value. So, well, what are your thoughts on that? How long do you think he's going to hold out? Because remember, like Nylander, they keep bringing up, he held out till December when that time that he was in negotiations. So with Swayman, how do you think this is going to play out? And do you think Boston's really dropped the ball here And like, do you think it's weird that another team hasn't tried to offer sheet him?
Yeah, and it sounds like you know, with all that going on, there's the drama with the spinning up on yourself podcast that like, is this actually happening? Did he receive that offer? Is Sweeney not answering the phone calls for 3 weeks? Like, all that drama aside, it's just like, that he just wants to get his goalie signed. Who knows how long he's going to hold out? Like Nylander, I think they have the same agent too. So if
Oh
he
yeah.
wants to hold out, till December, that could put Boston in a bit of a bind. I mean, they have Corpusalo, I think they got for Allmark, but um, he's kind of in a pretty good position considering they just traded away Allmark,
Yeah.
and now he's in the driver's seat. But we'll see what happens there.
How much do you think he wants, and how much do you think he's going to get?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to pay a goalie like $8 or $9 million, but you see it's kind of working now. It didn't look like a great deal with Bobrovsky in Florida, but they still found a way to win the cup with a deal like that. And
Yeah.
there's just not a ton of goalies that are making that much. We'll see what Shesterkin gets after, I think, this year, next year, becoming a UFA or RFA. So, but that seems to be the going rate now. Guys are getting paid. Even, you look at that Genter, after only playing 45 games, he's getting 8 million a year. There's multiple guys, young guys on each team, kind of getting. So if you're a stud on the team, you should be making it around that, 7-8 mil for sure on long-term deals.
Yeah, goalies are tough too because like there isn't a lot of star power in goaltending right now. Like even going all the way down to juniors, like I feel like in the last few years, a good solid, star goaltender has been really hard to come by. So that puts, like you said, the power in Swayman's hands too, coming off of a great year in Boston and them trading the other starter that they had, that splitting time with Swayman away. So it's it's. I was talking to a buddy who was saying he probably wants like around 10, and I'm like, man, like, but he's not Carey Price, but he might get close to that right now, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's tough.
on the open market, he probably would for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, I think he's RFA. They didn't take him to arbitration, so they don't have any rights there.
Yeah.
They traded away Allmark, so they probably should have had a deal done before that
Yeah.
came through. So it's just kind of like a botched situation altogether. But I don't know. Maybe Boston does well without him, and Corpusalo goes on a big winning streak, and Boston plays a pretty good defensive system. Maybe eventually it could end up not working out for Swayman, but right now I think he's in the driver's seat and he can hold out. But I think give him around 8 million and should be able to get him to camp. I think pretty quick.
Do you think someone should offer sheet him? Because I was thinking that too. Like it's not often a star goaltender becomes available. So I mean, this would be a perfect time to really use the offer sheet to your advantage. I mean, you'd have to give up like 2 firsts and then I think 2 or 3 other picks. But so there's only a few teams that could do it, I think. But it'd be, man, I feel like it's tough to pass up on trying to snag a stud goaltender.
Yeah, I'm sure his agent's looking around to see if there's any takers. But yeah, like once it gets to that number, like it was okay for Broberg and who's the other guy in Edmonton that got the
Holloway.
offer sheet?
Holloway.
Holloway, because there was lower numbers,
Yeah.
and you might lose a second round pick, third round pick kind of thing. But when you're losing multiple first round picks, getting into that $7-8 million mark, I think it makes it tough to get the offer sheets. I mean, it happened in Carolina. Aho got a pretty good offer sheet by
Yeah.
Montreal and was willing to give up the assets if they got him, but Carolina ended up matching it anyways. But if a team needs a goalie bad enough, I mean, could happen.
Yeah, and it's I'm looking at the compensation right here. It's 6.87 million to 9.16 is the first, the second, and third round picks. So, I mean, that's not that much. to give up for a stud goaltender, depending on
So
where your first round pick.
if it's over 10 million, what's the compensation? Does it stay on there?
So if it's from 9.16 to 11.45, it's 2 firsts, a second, and a third. And then if it's over 11.45, it's 4 first round picks.
4 first round picks. Wow.
Yeah. That's tough.
Nobody wanted to do that with Draisaitl, hey? I guess you have to wait till he gets to restricted but could happen with somebody else.
And another thing too, it can't be acquired picks, so it has to be your picks, the team's picks. So it couldn't be if you're Calgary, it couldn't be Edmonton's first round or second round, whatever. It has to be yours. So that puts some teams out of the running right away.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta follow the requirements. Would be pretty tough to have that many picks to pay a guy over 12 million. But I mean, that's why the option's there. It happened back in the day to Shea Weber too.
Yeah,
he got over $100 million offer sheet by Philly, and Nashville ended up matching it. But
yeah, at the time wasn't that the highest contract in history?
I think it was up there. Yeah, I think my agent, Jared Bouquet at the time, my North American agent, he was the one that kind of constructed the deal and kind of put Nashville in a tough spot, but they had no choice other than to sign it and keep your franchise player.
Man, he's still getting paid off that deal too, I think.
Yeah, got traded to Montreal and still was it Subban, and probably still making money off that.
Yeah, and then he ended up in Arizona's system too, wasn't it? So
he might have got one of those,
under Utah now.
Once he was hurt, and all those contracts ended up in Arizona.
Yeah,
just so that they could reach the cap floor or whatever.
I remember being at a wedding with Shea back in the day. Man, that wedding was crazy. Hockey wedding, all open bar, a lot of the boys there. it was nuts.
Hockey weddings are always fun.
Oh, it was
the
a
boys
blast.
Always end up taking their shirts off at some point of the night, dancing
we were on stage. It was me, Kane Franson, and Dylan Franson, all on stage. Shirts were coming off. They had their ties wrapped around their heads. Dylan was taking the wedding flowers, and he was playing the drums with them. It was I was throwing bouquets of flowers into the crowd. It was a mess.
Yeah. Dance floor going till 3 a.m. after party. Yeah, those weddings are pretty fun.
I got lost downtown Kelowna. Couldn't find a cab. Lost my wallet. Woke up, my wallet was on my brother's girlfriend's bedroom floor, and I found out the next day when I was already back in Salmon Arm, and I was like, I was like, I wasn't at your house. I don't know how that got there. I promise.
Somebody found it somewhere.
Yeah, that was quite the time. But that Swayman situation will be interesting. How that plays out could really hurt Boston. It'll be that's one of those tough ones. If I was another team, I would definitely be offer sheeting them though. So don't buy your Swayman jerseys just yet, especially because these Fanatics jerseys are an ungodly amount of money. If you want a name on the back of it, have you seen these prices?
Over $400 or something.
Yeah, so they're going back to the old way where it was there's different tiers of it again. Kind of Adidas had the authentic, and then they had the cheap breakaway jerseys. But Fanatics has a premium, which is $200-300 or whatever, and then for their authentic jerseys, they're $400+ without a name on it, and then if you want a name on it, it's $600-700.
No way. And so those are official jerseys that kind of the players would be wearing, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, the authentic pros. Let's see. So the Quinn Hughes Fanatics alternate premium jersey, $249. Bedard, $249. And then if you go to an authentic pro, a Vancouver Canucks home authentic pro jersey is $499 with no name. Insane.
Better be good quality.
I don't even know what the difference would be. These jerseys, I haven't seen them in person, and I'm not a big fan of Fanatics. I think this is the worst jersey deal that the NHL could have done. But I don't know. I don't like the look of them. Seen them so far, but $400, $500 for a jersey with no name on it, no chance in hell.
Not even the bright orange Anaheim Duck jersey.
Man, don't even get me started on Anaheim. Those jerseys should be purple. They should be purple.
Yeah, that's true. Go back to your Mighty Ducks roots.
What are you thinking, man? Like $400 for a jersey? Would you be paying that if you're a fan? Would you want as a player? Would you want fans to be spending that kind of money on your jersey? Like that's kind of crazy, hey?
Like I feel like it would have to be signed or have to have something. I mean,
Yeah.
just a regular old jersey.
You can get game worn jerseys from the Flames at the end of the years for like $500 for some guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, why would I buy a replica or a quote unquote authentic from Fanatics when I can get an actual game used one for the same price or lower?
Yeah, the game used one are way better. So what are they going to price the game used ones after this year?
I don't know.
Fanatics expensive jerseys.
I feel like isn't it I think it's the team that sets those prices for the game used jerseys.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you saw a couple like jerseys for Adidas that crept up to like $400, but they were the authentics and they were just special jerseys. Like I think you saw that with like the Aginla retirement night. I think that jersey was like $360 or something like that. I remember getting that at the time. Yeah, but there was none that were like $700.
No, definitely not. What do you think Caitlin Clark jersey would go for after the season she had this year?
Ooh, I don't know. How much do WNBA jerseys go for normally?
Probably not much, but her rookie year, like I think her rookie cards are going for pretty big money right now. Kind of tough. Portnoy lost his bet there. He thought they were going to come back and win the series and end up winning the championship, but they went down 0-2 against who'd they play in the playoffs, and now they're bounced out of the playoffs already. Caitlin Clark's done.
Ooh, who's gonna take it? Who's in there? Is Chicago in there?
I think New York, LA still left. Yeah, Chicago. I don't think they made the playoffs.
I don't think LA made the playoffs. LA was 8-32 this year.
Okay, then maybe it's just New York. There's 4 teams left, I believe.
Oh yeah, New York and Vegas. New York, Vegas, Minnesota, Connecticut. There it is.
Indiana Fever's out.
All sweeps in the first round.
Yeah, not much contest, and there was no upsets either, right?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Connecticut was 3, Minnesota was 2. Oh, yeah, Vegas was 4, and then New York was 1. Yeah, that's crazy.
Quick bounces.
Portnoy, he's at it again. It must be nice to have this kind of money, but Dave Portnoy put out the offer. What was it, yesterday? You brought this up with me today. I just watched it before we got on the pod, but he offered to pay University of Michigan, up to $3 million for a new quarterback. He's like, I have to have say. I will choose them, but every year I will pay for a quarterback to come out of the portal, top 10 quarterback in the NCAA. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Does he get to pick them?
He just pays. He said that he wouldn't just give them money and not have a say.
He actually has to have a say. Yeah, that's
so
hilarious.
He's like, I don't know if Michigan would do it, but I would have to have a say, and like I would have to be in the conversation. I'm not just gonna give them $3 million and say and not have any say what they're gonna do with it. So he's like, I want to choose the quarterback every year.
That'd be sweet.
Hilarious. It's so on brand for him. Do you think Michigan would do something like that?
I mean, I don't think he should be able to pick and like do the scouting and like how much does he really know about like all that stuff. But if he wants to pay $3 million for a good quarterback, like, yeah, give him. He's got a ton of money. Obviously, he's just got money to burn. He's buying all these horses and buying all this other stuff. So $3 million and NIL deals, like, here you go.
If you were Portnoy or someone like Portnoy, would you invest in NCAA like that? Like, would you pay for your school to have a stud quarterback or a stud center in hockey or something like that?
I mean, if you had like crazy money and money to burn, like, why not? Especially if that was the school that you went to, or something that you enjoy quite a bit, or you're not gonna be too worried about it. But no, I think like it'd be better off, like, if you could buy a team or be my own minority owner of a
Mm.
team and try and get a say that way. But I'm sure he's looked into different opportunities like that.
Yeah, and it's one thing for him to like with Barstool, it makes more sense than just being a booster, I think, because he was saying on the podcast on Pick'em that he would bring on the player weekly on part of my take or one of their podcasts, so it'd be like a Barstool marketing deal essentially. So I mean, it
Oh
could,
yeah.
depending on how big of a star the player ended up being, it could have end up making Barstool money, or at least making some of that $2-3 million back per year, depending on who it was. So like that, in that sense, like I could see how it worked. But you buying a team would be interesting too. Like I would love to own a hockey team. Whether it was
Yeah.
obviously an NHL team would be sick. Don't quite have $1 billion to spend or more now. I think it's probably more like $2 billion. But like a junior team or something like that would be super cool to be able to own and build.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for Portnoy as a business, like it's a
Yeah.
marketing thing, and obviously he's all about growing his business, and it does make sense. It would be good for the player, good for him, good for the team, as long as he performs. If he's not performing, like, then it looks bad on everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, the way that he puts it, that definitely makes sense. Get the athlete on some of your podcasts and give something back to recoup that 3 million.
It was funny because Big Cat was like, "Oh, now I'm thinking about doing the same thing with Wisconsin." So now Dave's starting this
Yeah,
entire trend of all these Barstool guys that got
yeah,
paid off of the sale. Now they're just gonna start giving money to their schools.
yeah. No kidding. But I mean, the athletes don't want that. They they want to go the regular route. They don't want to have to do like all these podcasts, and they want to focus on football. And
I
but
mean,
yeah, you
with
never know.
with the NIL stuff though, if you're getting paid $3 million to play football and go on a podcast while you're in school,
It's not so bad, I guess.
not so bad. You're you're 19, 20 years old making that much money. Like you're probably not doing schoolwork,
Take the 3 mil and run.
depending on the brand. But I'm sure and what they want. But I feel like popping on a podcast every week isn't too hard if you're making 3 mil
No, I could probably do that for 3 mil.
while you're in school.
I
Yeah.
don't know how much school I'd be paying attention to, but
Oh, definitely none, especially at a school like that. If you're the starter, you're the star quarterback. No, you've got
yeah.
people doing your homework for you for sure. UFC Fight Night Moicano vs. Saint Denis is this Saturday night. Dual Bits back with the UFC jackpot. Correctly predict the fight winners and method of victory of this weekend's UFC Fight Night to win a 1 Bitcoin jackpot. Dual Bits also has $2,000 guaranteed in cash prizes for the top 20 who make it to the leaderboard. So head on over to the link on screen and use our promo code AASHOW or any of the links in our bios and have a shot at the UFC Fantasy Jackpot. Ready to up your game? Sign up with Dual Bits and grab up to $100 in free bets, whether you're betting on the NFL, NCAA, the NHL next month, or any one of your other favorite sports. With the best odds, NFL Sunday specials, and the power to request your own bets, Dual Bits is the ultimate platform for sports betting. Sign up now and grab up to $100 in free bets and get ready for an epic UFC Fight Night. Anything else you want to touch on? Dual Bits bets of the week. Our bets from last week ended up pretty well. 3 for 3. A little bit of a makeup from our first year. Panthers won.
Yeah.
Tennessee won. Your Jets won.
Panthers are pounding now. Hashtag keep pounding. Need them again next week or this week.
Yeah, we hit them again. Dual Bits bets of the week. This week, we got 4 for you this week. 4 for you this week, including preseason hockey. But we're taking Panthers again over Cincinnati, plus 4.5 spread. Then we got Dallas Cowboys over the Giants. Dallas a -6 spread. Another NCAA football bet. We got USC Trojans over the Wisconsin Badgers. A -16 spread. That's a big spread. That's the biggest we've seen so far. And then
big spread.
Big spread. And then Leafs over the Habs preseason.
Big Cat won't be happy with that pick.
Oh yeah. Big Cat, exactly. Big Cat won't be happy with that pick. The Wisco's they're okay. They're 2-1. They're not ranked, but they're a good sports program. decent football program. They definitely probably need a quarterback from Big Cat, but yeah, we'll take Trojans over them. And then some preseason hockey that'll be interesting. We got Leafs over the Habs, -1.5. What do you think?
Yeah, Leafs are due for a win.
Due for a win. Matthews, new captain.
Home game.
Home game. Montreal's looking good this year, though. They've got some nice pieces.
Yeah, see what kind of roster they put together for that game, but
yeah,
I think it's Panic City in Toronto, so they're gonna put a good lineup out tonight.
I think Caulfield's gonna have a breakout year for Montreal, though.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's so good. He's so good. They've got Wi-Fi out there running around too. Like that guy's just an animal to watch. He would not want to be on the ice while that kid is out there.
No, they picked up some good guys. They should take a step this year.
Do you think they'll make playoffs?
I think they'll be right on the cusp. I don't think they will, but they'll be fighting till the end.
Why don't you think they'll make it? Just don't have the team yet?
I still think they're a year or two away from their young guys really taking those steps, but you never know. I think Slavkovsky's kind of starting to come into his own, and Caulfield, like you said, but not quite a playoff team yet.
Who do you think will end up making playoffs first, Montreal or Ottawa?
Ooh, I think Ottawa's closer, but
yeah.
See if they can put a run together. It seems like they start the season off tough and then just play catch up the whole year. So I think both teams have potential. They got a lot of young studs. Their core is locked up, but they gotta just get over that hump.
Yeah, be interesting to see what Laine does in Montreal. If Kirby Dach can stay healthy, they've got to. Do you guys still have Gooley on your team, or is he gone now?
He retired actually.
Oh, he retired.
Ago, so
okay.
Yeah, mid-season. Yeah, but
his
brother plays on Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah, former World Junior, Caden Gooley. Montreal's got an interesting team. I think they still need a goalie.
Yeah.
Like a solid goaltender, but their forwards have some good young forwards. It'll be interesting. Be interesting to see. But we're taking the Leafs. With all that nice talk
Leafs.
about Montreal, we're going to take the Leafs. I mean, it'd be nice to see them do well. It'd be nice to see any of the Canadian teams do well, except Edmonton and Winnipeg and Vancouver.
I don't see the Flames doing too well this year, but
the Flames should play in the AHL this year. I think the Flames
for Bedard.
I think the Flames could make a run in the AHL playoffs this year, maybe. Rookie goalie, most likely Wolfie's going to be up for a majority of the year. I hope they give him an opportunity, and I hope that he does well. He doesn't have much of a team in front of him, but we'll see. Hopefully Barry makes the team, and he'll at least have Bears in front of him. But Barry's more of an offensive defenseman than a defensive defenseman too, so that might not help him too much.
No, Wolf might have to stand on his head if they want a chance of making the playoffs.
Any other bets you want to get out there, Chucky?
No, I think hopefully we have another hot week this week, and we obviously had the gambling stream yesterday. You can check that out on Twitter and Rumble. And
yep.
I did want to say with the Philadelphia Flyers, how nice of a touch that was, bringing Johnny's dad out. And Tortorella, he kind of said after, he just wanted him to be a part of it. I think it would be therapeutic for him to come around. He's done it before. He's a coach. It was basically great to have him there for the day or a couple of days or whatever it was. And that was just a really touching thing that happened this last week.
Yeah, that was a classy move by Torts. That's such a tough situation that family's going through, and to have that conversation with them, to bring them, to the practice, let him be around the team. And he said he was gonna be trying to bring him back too. That wasn't the last time he'd be there. So that's kind of cool that he's gonna keep him involved as much as he feels comfortable being involved. And yeah, super classy move by Torts. I love that guy, man. I love Torts. I think his I've heard his training camps aren't too fun to be a part of, but man, I just love him as a coach. He seems like a great human being, and yeah, pure class class on him to do that for the Goudreau family, for Johnny's dad.
Yeah, no, 100%. Would not want to take part in one of his training camps, but he seems like a really good person, thoughtful person off the ice anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. Stream out from this week. Next week, hopefully we'll be back with a guest. And then going into hockey season, hopefully we'll be bringing on some more hockey guests. Regular season starts next week. We'll have a stream early in the week and then do like some sort of season preview with our guest. But back to hockey next week. We're excited. We have one preseason bet going into next week. Hopefully that carries us into to regular season well. I know some of our playoff bets weren't up to par. Well, at least mine weren't. I went on quite the losing streak during playoffs, but it all came around and we ended up winning on the cup. So regular season hockey's back. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.